911, what's the nature of your emergency?
He was not needle one. Anything? Yeah, that's where I'll get a 28 from one truck when you're ready. He's a one truck, Boy Lincoln X-ray 985, should come back up then.
In Wellington, Missouri, on June 27, 2012, 38-year-old Colby Sue Weathers made a frantic call to 911 to confess she had just shot her father. She told the dispatcher she planned to also shoot herself, but couldn't bring herself to do it. Colby admitted that she's mentally ill as she was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, but she knew what she did was wrong and was prepared to be arrested and brought to jail.
911, what's your emergency?
My name is Colby Weathers. I live in Wellington, Missouri, and I shot my father. And I can't shoot myself. I was going to after I did it, but I couldn't bring myself to it.
Okay, you said you shot your father?
Yes, he's laying on the kitchen floor. And I know I need to go to jail, but I'm trying to kill myself first.
Okay,
but I don't know if he's dead. He's just laying there and there's a ton of blood.
Where's your gun at right now, ma'am?
I don't know. I put it down and I can't remember where I put it.
Okay, you don't know where the gun's at, though?
No, I don't know where I put it. I'm not sane. I've been having a lot of problems.
Is he conscious right now? Are you close to him?
I can't look at him.
Okay.
He's been laying on the kitchen floor since I did it. He had his back turned to me at the computer chair, and I shot him in the back, and he got up and started running after me, and he collapsed in the doorway, and he hasn't moved since. I don't hear breathing.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
What type of gun was it, ma'am?
I don't know. I bought it at a pawn shop today. It's got a 40 in it. I'm not violent. I don't want to hurt anybody else, I swear. I know I'm going to get arrested. I know that I'm not dangerous to anyone else who comes for me. I'll be standing out on the front porch. I am not armed. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not running.
Okay. And how long ago did this occur?
I don't know, 15, 20 minutes ago. I've been insane for a long time.
Okay.
Are you the police officer? I need to be arrested. He's not alive, sir.
Who are you talking to right now, ma'am?
EMS. I shot my father. He's dead, and I'm waiting to get arrested.
When police arrived at the home off of Highway 131, they found 60-year-old Tex Delana dead from a gunshot wound to the back. According to court documents, Colby bought a .45 caliber firearm from a pawn shop earlier in the day, then returned home and approached her father, who was sitting at a computer in the dining room with his back toward her. At the insistence of voices in her head, Colby said she fired once through the back of the chair, hitting her father. Then Tex attempted to get up and flee, but collapsed at the back door. Colby then sent a text to her mother saying, quote, "Dad is dead," end quote, and then called 911. Colby's mother, Janet, explained how she and her husband began noticing alarming changes in Colby several years prior as she began to grow suspicious and paranoid. Colby began to exhibit a high level of paranoia in 2006 and was finally diagnosed with schizophrenia in 2011 by a physician evaluating her for Medicaid eligibility. Janet said her daughter thought she had a chip inside of her and she was being monitored, and she would spend hours standing in the street staring up at the sky. She would also sit at the big window in front of the house, adamant that the same car kept passing by. After Colby was diagnosed in 2011, Social Security Administration staff members determined she was unable to work because of her mental issues, and she began receiving benefits. Colby had several hospital stays for her bipolar disorder and suicide attempts, with the longest time spent in a hospital being about a week. She was prescribed medication that cost $600 a month, and by the time her mother could find an affordable rate, Colby would refuse the drugs, and when she did take them, she often threw them up. A month prior to shooting her father, Colby had received her monthly disability check and went and purchased a handgun from the Odessa gun and pawn shop, which sent her mom into a panic, but her father found the weapon and confiscated it from her. Colby had another disability check coming, and Janet knew her daughter would attempt to make another purchase, so she first called the police, then ATF, then even the FBI, desperately hoping law enforcement would prevent her daughter from following through with another purchase. The FBI told her that it could take 6 weeks or more for the agency to review medical records submitted by her daughter's psychiatrist, and that there were no guarantees that the Bureau could prevent Colby from buying a gun. As a last-ditch effort, 2 days before the tragedy, Janet called the pawn shop directly and explained to the manager how her daughter was mentally ill and that she had previously tried to end her own life. Janet pleaded with the manager, saying, quote, "I'm begging you as a mother, if she comes in, please don't sell her a gun," end quote. As her mother suspected, Colby received her disability check and visited the same store once again to purchase another handgun. She had never been identified as a threat to herself or others by a judge or ordered to an extended mental hospital stay, so when the workers at Odessa Gun and Pawn Shop ran a background check, it came back clear and she was able to purchase the pistol. The manager at the shop, Derek Dady, later recalled to police that Colby seemed nervous during the transaction, where she spent $257 on the gun and a box of ammunition. An hour later, she would return home and shoot her father, then make her desperate call to 911. Colby was charged with murder and spent 2 years in jail awaiting trial. Then in September of 2014, a judge accepted her plea of not guilty by reason of insanity and committed her to the Northwest Missouri Psychiatric Rehabilitation Center in St. Joseph, Missouri. Janet and Tex had been high school sweethearts, married for 40 years. Despite having done everything in her power to prevent the situation, Janet lost her entire family in the blink of an eye. It was reported the Odessa Gun and Pawn Shop made a mere $60 profit off of Colby's sale, and Janet said the more she thought about it, the more upset she got. She later filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the store, which argued it had done nothing wrong. The manager said, quote, "I can't just go by what a phone call says. If the person that comes in passes the background check, I can sell them a gun," end quote. The federal background check system that is used to prevent convicted felons from buying guns is missing a great deal of state health records that would also flag and disqualify those who are seriously mentally ill. Regardless, Janet said the store was negligent in selling her daughter the gun after she warned the manager of Colby's mental illness. Under Missouri state law, the court ruled that dealers can be held liable if they should have known a buyer was dangerous, and a trial date for the lawsuit was set, but the store would later settle with Janet, agreeing to pay $2.2 million. Janet owns a gun herself and said the lawsuit wasn't about someone's right to own or not own a gun, but that gun shop owners have to be responsible and people as ill as her daughter just have no business owning a gun. In one of my past videos, I talked about the red flag gun law and how it could be instrumental in stopping someone from harming themselves or others by temporarily taking away their weapons if they appear to be at risk due to a mental illness. The state of Missouri is a constitutional carry state, and as of now, it is not a state that has a red flag gun law. It's difficult to measure the effectiveness of red flag laws because it's impossible to count the number of tragedies that were to be avoided, but many say this case may have been an instance where the law could have saved a life. The Missouri State Senator Jill Shoup, a St. Louis County Democrat, says she's pushing for a red flag bill, saying, quote, "We're not trying to take people's guns away from them for the long haul. We're trying to keep them safe," end quote. Gun control advocates say the state court's decision, combined with Janet's settlement, are important victories for those who want to reduce gun violence. Jonathan Lowy, the legal director who argued Janet's case, said it sends a, quote, powerful message to the gun industry nationwide and to the companies that insure them that if you supply a dangerous person with a gun, you will pay the price, end quote. Janet has since retired from her job and now gives speeches and holds meetings with congressional members about gun buying and the mentally ill. She makes the hour-and-a-half drive at least twice a month to visit her daughter at the mental health facility and continues to push for justice for her husband.